Legendary boxer Mike Tyson has made headlines and doing what many would not think is possible for a 60-year-old man. In a recent interview, he actually drops some knowledge, a specific mindset, a type of warrior's mindset that he uses, has been always using to achieve whatever he wants and to get the greatest things in life. And he is not special by any means. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact steps and formula, the mindset that you must use to achieve all the things that you ever desired. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Mike Tyson recently dropped in an interview a secret, I guess you could call it an ingredient, that he uses to achieve his goals, his desires. And let's start with the word desire. We all have it, including you. And everything you've ever wanted started with a desire, right? Maybe when you were a kid, wishing for something at Christmas, right? Christmas is coming up. Our kids are all wishing and hoping for certain things. They have a desire for certain things. As you get older, the desire turns into a desire to maybe have a meaningful career or meaningful work or create an income for yourself or create a family. We are all creators, right? And regardless of whether we are conscious of it or not, we have this drive. I think at the core of every human being is a drive to create, right? You were born in the image of God himself. You were born as a reflection of a creator. Just as we were created, we have the ability to create. And it's really interesting that when we stop creating things in our life, whether it's creating a family, creating a beautiful business for ourselves that aligns with who we are, or creating anything really, creating a piece of art, a masterpiece, when we stop doing that, it almost seems like we're at odds with our spirit. And maybe that's where some people can get depressed, right? That's where some people can feel really down on life when they're not creating and evolving. So with that being said, everything starts with the creation, right? I've talked about this in another video. There's a process that you'll see even, warriors or the warrior type of mentality takes advantage of. The process goes something like this. You have an intuitive call, right? You have an intuitive call that comes up, maybe comes up through your heart. That is the center of wisdom. That is the center of knowledge that taps into the heart field, that infinite knowledge that lies beyond time and space. And it starts there. I'll ask you right now, is there something that you feel that has come from your heart, that you truly feel in your heart, that maybe you haven't taken action towards? Maybe you've been putting it off for years. Maybe you have a side hustle that you always want to have as your main hustle. Maybe you have music that you've been producing, but you don't really consider yourself a musician, even though others have been telling you you're talented. It starts with this desire that comes from the heart. Everything starts with the heart, and the heart is the generator of desire. But what you do with that desire will dictate whether you become one of the best at what you do in the world, or stay where you are, not creating, not doing anything towards that creation of what you want to create. Getting stagnant and, becoming depressed and falling into those lower mindsets. When we look at that, at the heart, perhaps there's something that you need to take action on, right? And that's where the mind actually comes in. Now the mind, and you'll see this with the warrior mentality, the warrior mentality emphasizes a sort of balanced mindset. We have two hemispheres of our brain. We have the left hemisphere and we have the right. The left is the analytical, the interpreter, making sense of patterns, whereas the right hemisphere is your intuition, access to information beyond space and time. The right hemisphere actually creates this heart-mind connection that gets strengthened when you do things like meditate and go inwards. You will see with many warriors, there's of course the more outward, cocky types, right? But you see with the warrior mentality, talking boxers or not, people who are fighting for their purpose will often go inwards. And when you go inwards, you go into a sort of meditative state. This is where you can create this heart-mind connection. Even a great man once said, "If thine eye be single, the body will fill with light." The eye, the third eye, is what gets activated during meditation. And during meditation, when you do this, when you fall into a different kind of brainwave pattern that we refer to as a theta state, you actually open up access to the right hemisphere of the mind, the more abstract style of thinking, the more intuitive style of thinking. And those whispers that maybe really just feel like whispers to you, but are your true calling, your true purpose, get louder in these moments. You can hear it. A balanced mindset is needed because you need that left hemisphere of the mind to actually analyze and interpret everything. This is the creator part of your mind where you can actually take the things you feel from the heart and begin to put things together, begin to put a plan together. Let me ask you, that thing that you've been putting off for so long that maybe you've always wanted to do, how much planning have you done around that? Have you set any milestones for yourself? Because that can be the first step. Of course, many of us, though, get stuck here, right? And we get stuck here for a really good reason. And this is where Mike Tyson comes in. Listen to what he said here. I'm going to play the clip.
Doubt is not going to work. No doubt. Doubt should be eliminated. You should be a doubt annihilator. You should be an annihilator of doubt. You've killed people in the ring. You should kill doubt in your mind and in your soul and your heart. Kill it. It's dead. Fight it every day because it's going to be hard. It's not going anywhere. You're going to try to throw as many negative thoughts at you as possible. And you got to throw as many and triple the positive thoughts. Whatever you throw 3 of them, you throw 16 back at them. How much you love yourself and how great you are. And how you love God for your hands and your feet and your legs and your skin and your movements and everything. Thank you. Your gratitude.
For your life.
Yes. Your blessings triple when you have gratitude.
So you see, doubt. Doubt will come up in this moment when you're going through this step of planning through your mind. Even more so when you start taking small actionable steps towards things, toward the thing you want to achieve, whether it's starting a business, getting away from your job, creating something incredible. The doubt will seep in. And doubt can come in 3 ways. Doubt can come from the self-doubt from your ego. Doubt can come from your external environment. And doubt can also come in the form of maybe sometimes reflections that happen to you. When you're actually taking action towards things and things maybe don't pan out the way they're supposed to, doubt can seep in. And I'm not immune to this, my friend. At every step of the process, when I'm creating things, that little voice tries to spark up. But I've been using this mindset, this very mindset of you must be the destroyer of doubt. Say it with me. From this moment forward, you are the destroyer of doubt. There's not a shred of doubt towards what you want to do. And doubt can come up in many different ways, right? The way we speak is very important. The way we speak in language is very important because most of us, when we're working towards things, when we've created the plan, we start taking action towards it, what do many of us say? I'm going to try, or I'm going to take a chance, or I want to. This type of language implies uncertainty. You see, the way you speak about yourself and what you're doing towards your goals will drastically affect the outcomes because you are the creator of your reality, and what you're speaking from your conscious part of your mind is actually imprints from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is sort of like an iceberg. It governs the vast majority of your life. And you must train the subconscious mind to be the destroyer of doubt. This is how the greats, people who are able to achieve incredible things, box people half their age when they're 60 years old. I mean, imagine the mindset you must need to have. Imagine all the doubts that must come up in that moment, right? But you can't let it happen. I mean, there was an interview at the end of the match where Mike Tyson was even interviewed, and the interviewer says, well, didn't you have like a knee injury or something going into this fight? He just chuckled and laughed and said, I can't be thinking like that. There's no way I would be able to go into this ring if I had that mindset. Mindset is everything, and becoming the destroyer of doubt should be your goal. Your ego will come up many times with doubts because the ego is a self-preservation mechanism that's tethered to this reality, to your current reality, not the one that you desire. And its modus operandi, its goal, is to keep you tethered exactly where you are because it considers that being safe, the safest option for you. And that will come up as a form of doubt, a sort of protective doubt. And you must break away from the ego, even disassociating for a bit, even though we do need our egos, right? But there's a healthy way to integrate it. Most of us let our egos run our lives through fear and doubt. Because there is a lot of fear and doubt perpetuated in society today. But let's say we look at our ego as a misunderstood child, because ultimately a lot of that gets created from our childhood. And if we look at our egos and this doubt that's coming up as a misunderstood child and gently guide it towards the things that we want, rather than it being the commander of our lives, this is the first way to be the destroyer of doubt. The second way to be the destroyer of doubt is to, when you're surrounded by people that doubt you, when people around you don't believe in what you're doing, that can have a negative connotation, right? It can be a negative reflection to you of what you don't have, of what you lack. There's an abundance. There's infinite abundance all around us. But if we let this other energy of doubt and lack get projected at us, it can begin to form as doubt on the inside as well. And so it's really important when you're working on something close to you that you care about, something that you're shaping and working towards, that you don't really tell everybody. It's best to keep it to yourself, especially at the start, because it's ultimately for you and it's your reality. And to tell others is to let others intermingle their perceptions with yours and intertwine their perceptions with yours, which can sometimes affect the rate at which you get things in your life, the rate at which you achieve success in your life. And so the last part here is guts. And when you start taking action towards things, you may even get triggered sometimes, right? Especially if you're doing belief work and you're shifting out of old beliefs, things you used to believe, you've had a realization, you're choosing new beliefs, you're starting to act on them. It's almost like we've created grooves or patterns in the snow, a fresh sheet of snow. We're creating patterns and grooves, kind of like our thoughts, right? But the important thing to remember here is you are not your thoughts. So think about this. When you're trying to create something, and these egoic blocks are coming up, the best way to deal with them is to remind yourself you are the destroyer of doubt. That doubt is not even in your language. And to address the type of language that even implies doubt, the language that's like, I want to, I'll try, I'll take a chance, all of that implies uncertainty, right? And to be certain in your path, even when you don't know what the outcomes are, but to be detached from the outcome can be an incredibly courageous thing to do. So let me know in the comments down below, have you adopted any sort of this warrior mentality? Are you the destroyer of doubt as it comes up? And are you tapping in to your subconscious mind? I've recently started creating meditations. I've created 2 of them so far. You can definitely check them out down below. And with that being said, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Peace.